Hello and welcome to 3 Minute Game Pass. I'm Nathan. A lot of you are probably approaching Elden Ring the same way that I've been approaching Elden Ring, as if it were Farming Simulator 2022, because I gotta get those runes, because I gotta get leveled up, because the most recent boss is just stomping me flat and I cannot beat them. So if you're currently on the farming grind, I've got an item that you should probably check out. Those who remember Dark Souls, remember the Silver Serpent Ring, 20% more souls. Well, there's an equivalent inside of Elden Ring as well. It's called the Golden Scarab, and it's a talisman that increases your rune gain by 20%. However, it's not the easiest thing to get, and it does require beating a pair of bosses. However, I will walk you through it today in case you want to boost your farming and get your levels faster. So let's just jump right into it. All right, so we're gonna have to journey back into Florida, where all good and bad things happen in this game, apparently. And the cave we're looking for is called an abandoned cave. Very original. So you're going to want to go to the Smothering Wall Grace, and then just follow the wall a little bit to the north and to the east. Now, this cave is actually hidden inside of a canyon. So we're going to have to make a jump across the canyon, like further down into it. Now, the easiest way to find it is if you go from the burning wall, as you can see here, there's this tree, past the tree on your right, and this rock is kind of our landmark. If you get up on the rock, you can look around, you can see down there that there is a cave. So if you hop off the rock and then do a little double jump here, bam, we are in a secret cave. Apparently I took damage from that, and we are good to go. Now, I am going to be very clear about this cave. I hate this cave. This cave is just full to the brim of scarlet rot. There is scarlet rot everywhere in this stupid cave. And at this point in the game, unless you're a paladin and you happen to have the fire cleanse me, you really don't have any easy way to cure the rot off of you. Luckily, there's really only one difficult part where you will get rotted, and it's actually at the very beginning. So the rot will spawn these huge rot geysers, and you have to get through them very fast in order to safely get to that island in the middle without hopefully catching the rot. Once you get to that island, I suggest waiting for some of the rot to burn off before continuing. If you do have the rot on that island, you probably should just restart. But there's actually a trick to this that I learned after recording this footage, and that's just backstepping. You don't want to roll through it because then it will stay on you and you'll keep catching the rot. And jumping does kind of increase your speed slightly. However, if you jump down, turn around, and backstep, you can actually backstep through it incredibly fast. So I'm going to walk you through how to get to the boss as quickly as possible. So first, you have to get through this first area, of course, avoiding the geyser and really trying your best to not catch rot. Once you get to this island, I suggest standing there carefully, like my character is right now, and then you can actually jump to the right and avoid getting rot poisoning off to the side. Once you are here, you're going to need to continue going forward, and yeah, someone joined my party. I should have probably not recorded that. And then head forward through this area, through the cave on the right. Again, avoiding all the rot. You're basically going to be just hanging right as often as you can when it's safe, except for that one. Avoiding these guys that are trying to poison you, and there's going to be rats just all over the place up here. There's rats on the left. Avoid them. Turn right. Keep going right. Just keep hustling forward, ignoring things. Now, there's a little more rot down here you have to be careful to avoid. Thankfully, not too much. And there's also a plant that's going to try and poison you with rot. Here, you head to this big trash pile on the right, and this is actually where you're going to head up, like so. Keep going forward, keep running, just don't look behind you, just pretend that everything's fine and good, you're not in Hell Cave in Florida, and this is the boss room. Now, this is actually two bosses at once. What's going to happen is one will spawn at first, and then once it takes enough damage, or I think it actually might be enough time, a second one will spawn. One is more ranged and one is more defensive. The defensive one spawns first and will try and block all your attacks. One of the best ways to deal with this is actually to have multiple summons to distract, and then just go as fast and as aggressive as you can on the first one before the second one spawns. As you can see, I am just beating the crap out of him with Carrion Slicer. Build for this guy coming soon. This is a really, really fun build, by the way, the Mage Knight Prisoner. And just beat the ever-loving garbage out of him with your attacks. The nice thing about magic attacks is if they block, you can still hit them with Carrion Slicer. They don't block 100% magic damage. And then you deal with the second one. Now, the second one, in my opinion, is much, much more dangerous. The second one throws ranged faith-based boluses at you and barfs up poison, as you can probably see. And they do just a ton of damage, and they have a ton of homing. I'd like to say, please ignore me if I'm playing like crap during this part, because as you saw, someone joined my party, and my friend was actively yelling at me during this whole thing, telling me to die and to lose, trying to throw me off. And it almost works. I almost didn't make it, if I'm being honest. You watch me constantly screwing up. Just be careful. If you catch Scarlet Rot like I did, you're going to need to just push through as best you can. It will whittle away your health, but honestly, at this stage in the fight, you can probably just beat your way through it. You can watch me almost die in a second because I just really sucked. I personally think this guy's melee attacks are much easier to dodge than his ranged attacks, even though I'm clearly not doing that here. So I'd suggest staying close if you can. So yeah, once you manage to kill the two of them, you get the golden scarab, which is the item that we want. And as we said, just by having a golden scarab in your pocket, somehow that attracts more runes to your body. Don't ask me how, man, it's just basic science. It is a fantastic amulet to get as early as you think you can take on these bosses. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching in this little short video, and I hope it's been very helpful, and go out there and get farming.